Hey everyone, quick announcement. I have a new merch line. It's called Heyo. It comes on all of these things. We also have a limited edition mug that'll be available until May 8th. Link in the description if you want to pick something up. Now enjoy the video.
You got this, Travis. Make him wait for it.
So it's pretty obvious that the big social media platform right now that everyone loves and no one hates is the app formerly known as Musical.ly, TikTok. Now, I may be a filthy zoomer, but at the risk of sounding like this guy, I kind of like it. But I bring it up because the app as a whole, and just the people on it, really remind me of the other big social media platform from 8 years ago, Vine.
There are quite a lot of similarities between the two. Both have a short time limit for uploads, both have had relative nobodies blow up overnight, and both have had way too many YouTube compilations. Now, as a cool and hip kid who always knew what was hip and cool, I hated Vine. Everyone around me at the time were all just quoting these Vines over and over, and I was just so sick of them. I think when Vine came out, I legit said that I hated memes, but I didn't really know what a meme was. I was so cool, you don't even know. But now that I don't have my head up my own ass, I can safely say that Marshall back then had no taste, and Vine was great. Ish.
It was a platform that helped spawn the future careers of many different YouTubers, and plus it just kind of influenced the content of the internet in general. And with TikTok being so popular these days, I feel like it's the perfect time to go over one of the biggest internet phenomena to ever exist. Today, let's take a look at Vine.
And they were roommates.
Oh my God, they were roommates.
Much like any college essay that I make, my first turn was to Wikipedia, but as it turns out, there's not much there. It tells you about the beginning, Vine kids, and then the ending. But it does say who founded Vine. It was these guys. Three entrepreneurs with the same big boy dream, making a video editing app. Yeah, originally it was just an app for video editing. There was no real intention to make it a social media app. There wasn't even a time limit. The only reason they added a time limit was because it was really laggy and they needed a way to make the videos made more shareable. Also, I tried to find why they named it Vine, but all I got was this article that said,
"A source says that it's short for vignette, which is defined as a short impressionistic scene."
What source? I don't know what source they're talking about because they don't really have any citations on that. Also, vignette is a hell of a stretch. So I don't know, this is the best I got, Chief.
But eventually they added the social media aspect to it, gave it the 6.5 second time limit, and made the videos loop. And I think this part is very crucial to why Vine worked. Whether intentional or not, they took advantage of people's laziness. It was so easy to get lost on Vine. You don't have to press play on the video when it starts or ends. It just loops. To look at another video, all you had to do was swipe up. Sounds kind of familiar, doesn't it? All you're doing while you're on Vine is just this. That's it. That's all you're doing. No other actions. You're literally just using one muscle, one thing, not even a muscle. Do hands have muscles? I don't know. This is what made Vine so addictive. You don't gotta do a damn thing when looking at Vine.
Just keep scrolling the endless feed until your brain leaks out your ears and your very being has been consumed by Thomas Sanders.
I know it's a small thing, but I think it's the decision to make the videos short and looping is what made Vine stand out as an app and what made it so influential. It's like GIFs with sound. I could be wrong. I'm probably wrong. I mean, it seems like a stretch, but just look at the other apps at the time. There wasn't really anything like Vine when it came out. Snapchat had only come out the year before and didn't have their trademark stories until like 2013. Instagram didn't even have the ability to film video. They literally added that feature to compete with Vine. That's right, Vine has a legacy. So with that major tangent out of the way, our boys are ready to launch their new app. But not before pitching their idea to Twitter and being bought out for $30 million. I guess they saw value in it.
So take a moment and put yourself in these guys' shoes right here. Just three guys in their mid to late 20s who wanted to make a video creation platform, and in that same year, they're bought out by Twitter for $30 million. If this was going to fail, it would probably end their careers. Imagine their reaction when it was a huge success.
It's good, bro. You don't know me. You don't. What is good? You don't know. You don't know me.
Get to Del Taco. They got a new thing called free shabakadoo.
Oh, fuck. I can't believe you've done this.
There is only one thing worse than a rapist. Boom. A child. No.
Who am I? Let's go to the beach. Beach. Ninky Minjai.
Yes, within the first couple of months of it being publicly released on January 24th, 2013, it became the most used video sharing app out there. In the same year or the year after, big name celebrities were using it. Tyler the Creator, Josh Peck, even Ariana Grande. Friggin' Daft Punk released their new album's track list on Vine in April of the same year. It didn't just blow up. It became the hot shit almost immediately.
Now, there's one question that I know a lot of you are probably wondering, because honestly, I thought the same. What was the first Vine? Well, much like the first YouTube video, it's completely pointless.
Okay, a brief tangent I want to go on is that a lot of this was very hard to research. Big spoiler, I guess, but after Vine died, they had a Vine archive, but it was discontinued in 2019, so early Vines are very scarce. Even with a lot of Vines being re-uploaded to YouTube, most of them are from the biggest people on the app. You're not gonna see any Vine compilations of this. Most boring Vines of 2013! So yeah, most Vines, especially early Vines, are just lost forever now, which really sucks. Lost media, for me, is really frustrating. Yes, even if that lost media is stuff like this. But from what I could find, and just guessing from what I did find, a lot of early Vines were really boring. I mean, it makes sense. That's what happens with most new internet platforms. People don't know what to do with them, and everyone just kind of learns from each other. That's how YouTube started. That's how Reddit started. And that's how the dawn of man started. My point is, early Vine was very primitive. A lot of it is not worth talking about, so let's talk about some that are.
Alright, so we've been over the beginnings of Vine. Let's talk about some actual Viners that really dominated the platform and became the first, like, Vine celebrities. First, let's talk about Shawn Mendes.
Yeah, for those who don't know, Shawn Mendes actually started as a Viner. He posted song covers and the like.
Today's gonna be the day that they're gonna run it back to you.
He originally started posting them on YouTube, but oh, what a shock! There was an overstimulation of white dudes playing guitar on there. Do you feel the same? What? I'm not acting like I'm not part of the problem, okay? But yeah, he started on Vine, and guess who used Vine the most? Young teenage girls. And guess what demographic Shawn Mendes appeals to? Young teenage girls. Guess who doesn't want to talk about this anymore? Me. He rose to fame by posting song covers and being pretty. If it's not obvious at this point, I don't like Shawn Mendes.
I mean, honestly, you'd think there'd be more to say about him because he was one of the most popular Viners out there. But there isn't. It's just something that I feel like I have to talk about because he's the biggest example of someone who took that Vine fame and turned it into actual fame. There are plenty of Viners out there who have lived and died on Vine, never to be heard of again, doomed to fade into obscurity. But those who have found the success elsewhere have managed to adapt and change while still playing to their strengths. Shawn Mendes changed nothing because his system was already working. Like, it feels like he was meant for stardom with that face. But yeah, in the years after Vine, he's gone on to become a chart-topping success of his own. I mean, it's like Justin Bieber in a way. He found his success on YouTube, and long after that era of YouTube has died, he still has success. And for both Shawn and Justin, their music sucks now. maybe it sucked the whole time.
Also, I just want to add, me ranting about Shawn Mendes has nothing to do with him as a person. I have nothing against him personally. I don't really have an opinion about him personally. I've never met the guy. And if you like his music, don't let my opinions affect your opinions. We're all just having fun here. I'm just making jokes, okay?
We are not the same person.
Okay, now these guys I actually want to talk about. These two are also an example of how people have transitioned out of Vine successfully, but this time I actually like what they do. Their content on Vine was mainly skit comedy, or whatever this is. There was a lot of skit comedy on Vine, but their Vines really represented the weird kind of humor that a lot of people associate with Vine now. It's the kind of humor where you don't know why you're laughing. Sometimes it has a structure like a normal skit.
Hey son, come help me paint the house. Son? Nah, I can't, sorry, I'm busy.
Sometimes it was just... It really reminds me of that Important Videos playlist from a few years ago. The same kind of what am I watching and why am I laughing kind of energy. It's very internet-y, if that makes sense.
This is my favorite shirt. We have so much in common. We even have the same nemesis, Jeff Daniels.
But there is one more reason why I put these two together in the same category. And that reason is because everyone confused them for each other, and I don't get why. I mean, they both started on Vine and both are now doing the same kind of commentary content, and they look vaguely the same, but I just don't get it.
Welcome back to another episode of Beggars Can Be Choosers.
But the best part for me, they made a song based on the confusion called We Are Not the Same Person, and then went on a full-on tour called We Are Two Different People. This has nothing to do with Vine, but I just figured I should mention it.
Jake Paul, Logan Paul, I love the Pauls, they're so Paulicious.
Okay, well, Drew and Danny definitely represented what people remember Vine fondly for. They weren't the most popular on the app. It's here that we must talk about Jake and Logan Paul and their start on Vine. I mean, honestly, I could talk about King Bach or something, as, you know, he was the most popular Viner out there, and his comedy was similar to the Paul brothers, but I can't not bring up the Paul brothers. They're basically the internet's punching bags at this point.
Haha, get it? Punching bag, because they both box.
Like Drew and Danny, these guys also did skit comedy, but it wasn't nearly as good.
Okay, class, tell me your substitute today. Why is he laughing?
I mean, half the reason this sucks is just the attitude coming from these guys is just so annoying. A lot of it was the same kind of humor too. Okay, how do I put this? In place of a punchline, there would be either haha random, violence, or worst of all, screaming! Oh my god! Or a hellish mix of all three. What makes the Vines of Drew and Danny so good is that they're actually good writers. The Pauls aren't. They just did comedy because, oh, you know, it's easy. Everyone loves comedy. Anyone could do comedy. And it just comes off so half-assed. Okay, I think I filled my quota for shitting on the Pauls. Let's move on.
We've got a #1 victory royale. Yeah, fortnightly bout to get bound.
Nice work, hero.
Well then, I guess I'm talking about ProZD 2 videos in a row. ProZD brings up a quality about Vines more than anyone else on the platform. They're just so damn quotable.
Levitation spell is dick fuck. What? Enunciate the dick. The dick is the trick. Dick fuck. I'm saying dick fuck.
There are so many quotable Vines on the platform, and Danny and Drew made plenty.
Road work ahead. Yeah, I sure hope it does.
But I bring up ProZD because of the amount of quotable Vines he has. Like, holy shit, I was watching Vine compilations of his for this video, and they kept coming and coming, and I knew every word of them. And I didn't even like Vine.
Calling the new show Yo Gabba Gabba. Why 2 Gabbas? Too many Gabbas. Fuck with me on this, Ted. 2 Gabbas or I'm out. You son of a...
ProZD's content was so good, it was better than the platform it was on. He has transcended beyond and has become his own entity. But my point is, ProZD's Vines, and Vine in general, was incredibly quotable. And since people kept quoting them, more people would want to get on the app and see the Vines. And so more people on the app means more Vines are being made. And more Vines being made means more people quoting them. And more people quoting them means more people getting on the app, and the cycle continues. I just want to take a moment just to say, wow. I really got to give props to ProZD here, because the amount of absolute bangers he came out with, it's just astounding. I mean, there's some early ones that are kind of meh, but I mean, that's expected. The rest are just so immediately catchy and memeable, all within 2 years of doing it. And I think this is a factor into why a lot of people have become so nostalgic of Vine years after it's gone. It's why anything is nostalgic. When something is this memorable and sticks in your head, and maybe you share it with your friends or something, you associate that video with a time in your life. And if all of those friends quoted it back then, you associate it with that group of friends. So time goes by and that period of your life ends. And maybe that friend group isn't around anymore, but you still have that little video. And it's not just a funny video now. It's also a reminder of that time in your life. And whenever someone in that friend group watches that video, maybe they'll stop and think about the good times they had. How things were so perfect and simple back then. So wonderful. And I made myself sad while talking about Vine. What the hell is wrong with me? Okay, so if we went over every single notable Viner, we'd be here all day. So here's a quick lightning round of people worth mentioning. 1, 2, 3, 4. Thomas Sanders, Dope Island, King, Back, Bat, Dad, Gabriel, Gundacker, and Zach King. Daz Black, Evan Green, Marlon Webb, Kevin Perry, Brent Rivera, Quincidella, damn Daniel. We didn't start the Viners. They were always looping and sometimes amusing, but we didn't start the Viners. It's apparent to us it started with these nuts. Got him! Oh, but there is one more guy I should bring up, only because of his big influence on me. The incredible and iconic Bo Burnham. If we want to talk about absolute bangers, Bo is your guy.
Is there anything better than pussy? Yes, a really good book.
He wasn't on Vine for very long, but most, if not all, his Vines are fantastic, and he is my personal favorite creator on the platform. He didn't even start on Vine. He started on YouTube back in 2006, released an EP and 2 albums, and did 3 tours before ending up on Vine, and somehow crushed it more than anyone else. Beyond Vine, he made 2 equally amazing Netflix originals and made his own dang film. I think all the qualities that I brought up for each of these Viners are also present in Bo Burnham, except for the Paul brothers.
Okay.
So like I said at the beginning, there was no app like Vine before it came around, but by 2016, it had much bigger competition than when it started. It's kind of like what happened with Netflix. They had all of these movies and TV shows, and they were making all of the money, so other businesses hopped on the trend and made their own streaming service to capitalize on it. So since Vine had cornered the market on this kind of media, other companies tried their hand at the Vine formula. Like I said, Instagram added videos in direct competition with Vine, so it was clear that Vine needed to innovate. But they didn't. They made Vine Kids. It's generally agreed on that Instagram adding videos was the beginning of the end for Vine, because at that moment, the 6.5-second time limit stopped being a feature and started becoming a nuisance. So much like my life in college, Vine's popularity declined over the years. A lot of creators began to move over to other platforms. It wasn't just because of the time limit, though. At some point, Viners really wanted to start getting paid for their content. And there were negotiations at Vine to start getting these creators paid, but the problem was that Vine at this point was incredibly dysfunctional. The 3 original founders didn't even want to add monetization to their app, which might sound awesome to the viewers, but it's a really great way to lose money very quickly. And by 2014, the founders had either left or just been straight up fired, leaving it in the hands of Twitter and some guy named Jason. So yeah, at this point, Vine was feeling a lot more corporate than it was at the beginning.
What didn't help were the ads. Or should I say the ads disguised as Vines. I mean, since Vine didn't really want to monetize their app, there were some companies that reached out to Viners directly to do sponsored videos, which sounds great, but the videos were awful.
Hey, you watched The Path, right? Yes! Well, I'm only halfway through the season, though. Oh, okay.
I lied, I watched the whole season last night.
Seriously, there's nothing that kills a joke more than it being an ad for Colgate or some shit. But eventually when Instagram and Snapchat started like growing by the millions, the sponsors just kind of backed out.
Eventually they did add a longer time limit, but it was too late. Slowly but surely, Vine's popularity declined over the years, as creators and viewers moved on to bigger and better things. And then we got the news. On October 27th, 2016, they announced that Vine was being discontinued. You could still view and download Vines off the official website, but yeah, no more posting videos. And despite the user base dwindling over the years and people just losing interest, people were really sad to see Vine go. A lot of people went back to the app to experience it one last time, and there was even a lot of creators who made videos saying how much Vine meant to them and saying their last goodbyes. It was oddly heartwarming in a way.
Seriously, thank y'all so much for the huge support y'all giving me on Vine.
In all seriousness, love you guys. Vine, you've been so awesome for supporting me. Wish this wasn't happening.
Story time! Once a guy tried out an app, and it changed his life. Thank you, Vine.
Now that Vine's over and I have nothing in my life, I'm going to walk into it.
Hey guys, so now I'm 2 Duck.
Hey guys, Vine is ending, but my story isn't. Follow me on Instagram, Twitter, Snapchat.
I'm back at my college campus in the town where I first downloaded Vine 3.5 years ago. This is also where I met my girlfriend, Shawn.
I just want to say sincerely that this app was fun for 3 months and then it sucked dick. Have fun in hell.
Like I said before, there's the whole Vine archive thing on the website. Also a metric shit ton of compilations on YouTube. Now the Vine archive is no longer available, but you can still go to a specific creator's profile, so that's nice. That's where I got most of these clips, actually. The app itself actually was turned into the Vine camera app, and it still only allowed 6.5-second videos. And they also uploaded to Twitter rather than Vine. The app was, unsurprisingly, poorly reviewed, and it was taken down. Truly a sad way to end an app so beloved by many. It's like if YouTube was announcing it would be ending, but then after its death it was turned back into a dating website like it was at the beginning. Also, I guess I should mention the follow-up to Vine, Byte. It's there. I tried it. It feels less like Vine 2 and more like TalkTick. But yeah, that's the end of Vine. The good, the bad, and the Pauls. It's gone, but not forgotten. But in all honesty, it was a very sad loss, though a very expected one. It could have lasted for much, much longer if they were able to adapt and change, but they just refused to until the very end. Though its life was short, I truly believe that its impact on the internet is unmatched. It wasn't flawless. Some might say it wasn't good or that it was overrated, and I can understand that. But there is no doubt that Vine has cemented itself into internet history, and very few people can say that they've done that.
Stop! I could have dropped my croissant!
Hi.
Okay.
Nobody ever cared that I could walk in the store and get the part!
This shit good!
Back at it again at Krispy Kreme.
Hey, I'm sorry, I didn't see you there. I was too busy blocking out the haters.
Today's forecast, we can clearly see that somebody got me fucked up.
And this city will be mine!
So I got one question for you. What are those?
It is Wednesday, my dudes.
And now we have TikTok. Yay! I will give TikTok this. Vine didn't bring back sea shanties.
Soon may the wellerman come to bring us sugar and tea and rum.
So you might be asking, well, which one's better? That's a different topic for a different person. I think TikTok will last longer, but that's just speculation. Because the thing is, Vine was started by 3 dudes, and TikTok was started by a whole corporation. That's why I think it'll last longer. Just because something lasts longer doesn't mean it's good. Also, there's a lot of shitty drama on TikTok that I really hate. Even in recent weeks of me filming this video, there have been a lot of bad things to happen, and I could definitely see that being the downfall of TikTok. One of the more recent dramas would be a certain teacher of veganism. I'm sure just saying her name will summon her to rain hellfire upon me. There's more examples, I'm sure I'll put them on screen somewhere. But yeah, it's this kind of stuff that just makes me not want to use it. Also, bullying! That's fun! So as similar as Vine and TikTok are, they are not without their massive differences. Still though, if it weren't for Vine, the internet would look a hell of a lot different. And it's with that I announce my channel is over and I'm going back to making Vine sauce edits. Bye everyone!
Thank you all so much for watching. Sorry it's been a while. Hopefully this was worth the wait. If you're new here and you like what you see, please consider subscribing and hitting the bell. Also check me out on Twitch. We have a lot of fun over there.
My name is Marshal and I will eliminate the middle clip. What? No, do not clip that.
And my Patreon as well if you want to have a say in what I make next. Thank you again so much for watching, y'all. Bye! Here's to all my patrons and your generous donations, like Fancy Waffle, Aidan Jeffes, Peyton, Stanley, Ray, Cooley, Sanilla through 7, Madgythumtas, Cutebleeder and Kayson Whitehouse, Dolly Winkles, Alex Isaac, Peter Marenthyu and EricJonesBootleg, Reilly Zimmerman, nearsightedwaddledee, and Skruffl. I hope I pronounced your names correct. Also, Jakub Pawluk, mghonor, Collin Pedigo, and RTOGamingYT. Thank you so much, guys.